everybody, and welcome to Rise of the Podcast. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Kara.
I'm Brownie, and this week...
On the phone, we have...
Hello, hi, Myke D. Hi, my name is Myke D.
So, really quick, are we recording?
We're recording.
Yes.
We're not dropping frames because I switched my phone again. Sorry, everybody who has to deal with this every freaking week. Our internet is just even worse than normal.
I don't understand it. It is ridiculous.
Yep.
It is crazy. We'll get it fixed. Who's here?
Well, Swanky says looking good. Thank you.
Swanky, hi.
Hi, Swanky.
I feel Swanky has become part of the Rise of the Podcast family now.
Oh, 100%. Oh, yeah. If you come back
He's the step cousin.
If you come back for a repeat visit, you're here.
Oh, Gabe is here. Hello, Gabe.
Gabe.
They were podcasting, so unless they still are, and he's dual wielding his podcast.
Well,
He's probably dual wielding.
He's got the power.
Anyways, all right. So we have a fun phone caller this week. He introduced himself at the beginning. Myke, how have you been? Chris and I and Kara have known Myke for a super long time. Myke, fill everybody in who you are.
Oh, hi. Well, hi. Thanks for... I'm Myke D. I'm, well, who am I? Well, I don't know. I'm just this guy, you know? I do a lot of different weird stuff, and the quarantine has really, enabled me, to sort of lean into that stuff. Yep. So, I've got Cooking for Adults. It's a YouTube channel that I've been working on, kind of hit or miss, on and off with Chris there. He's been a big part of that. Outside of that, most recently, I built a rotary cell phone. The project that I worked on for a long time, and it's so exciting because it's something I thought of I would say maybe 15 years ago when I first had my first flip phone. A friend of mine, you guys know him, Tim. We worked at a radio station together, and him and I we wanted to do it. We didn't know how. And we took an old rotary phone handset and cut the bottom off and tried to wire it up as a handset, and it kind of worked. And I actually still have that. But it was one of those things where it's just a completely unapproachable project. How do you make a cell phone? I don't know. And anyway, as I've gotten older, I've become more adept with, home electronics, consumer electronics, then got into some programming more recently than that. And, also the advent of this Arduino, accessible, programmable hardware. It's really made it easy. And so anyway, I found my way into it, and gosh, it's such a fulfilling thing to ream up something, and then boom, there it is.
Nice.
So along with that, I've also been doing 3D printing, and it's it all kind of leans on each other. So. A lot of weird stuff I've been up to lately.
At some points tonight, I want to circle back and talk about Cooking for Adults. And then at another point tonight, I want to talk about the telephone, rotary phone, cell phone.
That to me is amazing.
But then we definitely want to talk about your step promoter project. But then, all right.
Yeah, right. So, bury the lead, right? Yeah, of course. That's the most recent project. And that's something that I just literally started 5 days ago. And I have a 3D printer. I've been printing for a couple of years. And one of the things that would happen when you're printing, if you print anything circular especially, but basically any shape, is your printer will start singing these sort of songs to you. And
yes.
It's not like a song, as it were, not an actual song, but it's right? And you hear these sounds.
100%.
And they become this sort of rhythmic, and it's what the hell is that? And it's sort of, I'd seen online other people doing things that were floppy drives, 30 floppy drives play, the Office theme or something crazy.
Yes.
And I was man, that's interesting. How are they making floppy drives sing? And I had the same idea. You remember when you were a kid? I don't know. God, it's dating me now, but I remember back in the day playing. You put a floppy disk in and it makes those wild sounds.
Yep.
And so they make them sing. So I was sort of inspired by that, by the printer. And I had been working on another project, a draw bot that is you put a pen in it and you can make it draw pictures and things. It's not done. It's incomplete. Right. But I had built that thing and I was staring at it thinking I got all these extra motors because I had to buy them in a 5-pack. Anyway, I have these extra motors and I was I'm going to try and do something with these. And basically got myself an Arduino and a couple of it's not but a couple 2 more components away from being a 3D printer basically. Right. Insofar as there's 4 motors and I've got a CNC controller board that I'm using to run it. But basically the fundamentals of it is you just pulse the motor to make it step. That's the basic technology of the stepper motor, is that there's alternating pairs of magnet, charged coils in there, and you just alternate the current to the motors or to those coils, A, B, to move the stepper motor. And so that when you're making something print, you just, pulse A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B. It's, really simplified concept, what I'm saying. But, to make the music, all you have to do is pulse the motor at the frequency that the tone is. And so, to make an A, you just pulse 440 hertz, and it makes the sound, man. And it's one of those things that, like I'm leaning on the work of a ton of other people. That's the nature of the Arduino, community. But there was a guy who was already doing, like I said, the tape drive or the floppy drives and stuff.
Yeah.
And they've already worked out what the frequencies are. So there's a table that I can find, and like I said, just run. It's so cool to know that you can approach a project, and that because of the internet and because of these democratized platforms, it's like anyone can just make a thing, and it just there's all this resources, and there's all these people who are totally down to help you. Mm-hmm. And so I made this 4-bank 4 motors, and I just started. I wanted to play some songs, and so once you got the motors singing, it's just a simple concept of like how do you want to send notes to it, and the way you send notes on computers now is you use MIDI. And so, or MIDI, depending on your pronunciation, and GIF, right? Same situation,
yep,
but
yep.
So I had this piano that I had got when I bought Avid like so long ago. It was like just a MIDI keyboard, and I cranked it out and bashed on it. It was probably like 2 weeks culmination before I actually made any noises with it. But it's like anything with computers. Once you have a success, it's like now once you can make the light blink once, now everything else is just more complicated light blinking, And so that's
right.
It was.
So
it was 2 weeks to that moment, and then from that moment to making a song was like could be like an hour. So it was really satisfying result.
Chris, are you able to pull up one of his videos?
I'm trying.
Chris is able to pull up one of your videos, but basically you did us a fan service by doing us some couple Star Wars songs. You've done the Cantina band, or the Cantina song, and so if we could get this to play, everyone would understand what you're describing in detail. So Chris just showed me tonight. And it was super cool. So my first thought, do you think you got it to work?
I think I got it to work. Let's give this a shot.
Okay, he's going to try to play it. Here we go.
All right, so here is okay. There we go. There he is. He is at Stepper Motor on TikTok. And let's see if the sound comes through.
Oh, yeah, there it is. I can see it on the screen there. Nice.
Well, can you guys hear it or no?
I can't, no.
But I usually can't hear things that you play. It's probably, does anybody know, is it working?
Do you want to pull
have the stream up?
I don't. I can pull it up though.
No sound. Okay. Well, let me try one thing real quick then, guys. We'll be right back at that. You gotta continue asking your questions.
Okay.
Well, that's good though. The visual there is good though, and you can see what's going on there. And so in the video that I can see, I don't know if it's delayed or not, but there's 8 motors in that one.
I saw it and I was blown away. And so the first thing I asked Chris was like, to me, let's say you did it with like people make music with wine glasses, right? You got to pour water in to get the sound that was made. So you kind of described the process a little bit, but so you can take any motor and make any sound with it?
Not anymore, but most motors, and so the way that this is stepper motors specifically, and so the reason this works so well and why I can just buy more motors and it works is because of the sort of universal nature of how a stepper motor works.
Cool.
Because of that alternating pulsing method
says,
of
pulse width modulation control is a wonderful thing.
You know what you should do?
Exactly. Yes, PWM. Exactly. That's right.
Do rotary engines make certain noises?
Like car motors?
Yeah.
No, the explosive noises is what they make.
Well, okay. I was just thinking like the shape of the rotary is like this. You would think like with the thing spinning inside it would make a specific noise.
Clank, clank, clank.
No,
clank,
yeah, clank, clank.
Okay, fine.
There's so much.
I know nothing about cars.
It doesn't vibrate
I don't either, so.
So yeah, the question maybe is where is the sound coming from? And I think it's literally like the motors when it's a percussive essentially, sort of it's the motor itself that makes the noise.
Right.
So the reason I you get different noises from the different motors right now is I have the black bracket leans directly against the I have it's like a little palette or like a canvas board, and then the black one leans directly against the canvas board. So then all the vibrations are vibrating through the canvas board.
What I love about
and then the silver one.
What I was going to say,
go ahead.
What I love about you is, so I have a 3D printer. I have a small one, and I like the thing that always makes me nervous about like using my 3D printer is the sound of the motors don't ever sound healthy. But when you talk, it's burned into my mind what you're talking about, the as it's like, the way it's moving around. Or I hate when it's doing an infill and it's like.
Annie just texted me and said Jeremy's really quiet. I don't know if anybody else is noticing that, but Annie said he's really quiet.
Jeremy, give me a check 1 2.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
Oh, he was at his normal levels.
Weird.
But anyways,
TV up, Annie.
Yeah, right. So like when my printer goes back and forth doing an infill or something, like, and obviously I was like, I'm breaking my poor printer, but I'm just gonna obviously run it until it doesn't work anymore. And I know people.
Then he buys a new, nicer one.
Yeah, right. So what I love, Myke, is that you've taken that sound and actually thought, oh man, what if we can make that into music? So does it get to the point where it's as simple as you have a line of code that outputs a sound, and then can you like copy and paste that in? Like I need an A and then an A sharp, and then like, can you just take those blocks of code and rearrange
You're hilarious
them?
with your A sharp, Jeremy.
Why? What do you think?
No.
A sharp does exist.
Yeah, I mean, it's from.
So let's see. G has 1, D has 2. A has 3, E has 4, and then 5 would be E.
You know, the best part about this is I don't have enough knowledge to argue on my own behalf, so I'm glad you.
So A sharp.
In music theory, yes, A sharp exists, but in all practicality, A sharp
exactly.
is B.
I mean, B flat.
But but the computer doesn't care either
so that'd
way
be the key
because
of F or whatever.
Yeah, because like, as you go up the thing, it gets more flats or sharps.
Yep. So you can have up to 7 sharps or 7 flats. But that's just really annoying and very pretentious.
I just didn't want to say A. I wanted to spice it up a little bit.
No,
I was like,
no, you were right. A sharp does exist in the keys of like
Caliente spritz of just sharp.
You picked a very
there.
very strange key.
You did.
Is all you did.
Let's see. G D. What did I say? G D. Yeah.
So we're way off the rails.
Right. But
I apologize for
B
calling
has
Jeremy
5 sharps. There we go. Sorry. Q has 5 sharps.
But anyway, okay. So you heard this 3D printer sound and you thought, hey, I can do this. So you said there's a bunch of internet to help you out, but like, what did you have the biggest smile on your face when you first hit like play, or like what was the first note or thing that?
Oh God, yeah. Because it's like I bought. So first of all, it's like I wanted to save money, right? So I bought components from Banggood or Alibaba or whatever. It's like I don't want to spend a ton of money on this project. So then I get these things. It's like any one of these components could be faulty. Not to say but that's the nature of buying things, right?
Oh, electronics specifically.
It's never existed before. So. Or not that it does never existed before, because that's not fair. There's other people, and I want to make sure I'm very clear about this. There's definitely other people out there doing almost exactly what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like there's a dude that I see that's got 32 motors, and so it's like I haven't invented anything here, but I'm happy. Yeah, it's like so I said. So it's definitely I with my current rigs, there's no way I could power 32. I just couldn't do it right now. I don't have my hardware can't power that, but so good on him. But I guess the point is like none of this is new. Like I'm not doing anything. I'm just leaning on the shoulders of other people and just like taking their knowledge and then saying, here's something I can do. And, but yeah, as to the question of how you play it, it's literally, you can play on my piano. I have a keyboard because it passes into the computer and then play out.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Wait, so you have it hooked up so you can like hit a note, but then the stepper motor plays it?
Yes, that's right.
What?
It only does. Currently, I can only power 1 note at a time from the piano, and the limitation that you're facing right now is if you send an on note command. So if you push down C, and then you push down D, it sends another on note command, and then you release C, and it sends the off note. What will happen is it will play the C, it will play the D, and then we'll receive the off command for the C, and then it'll stop playing. So there are some limitations, but it's just a few weeks, give me some more time to bash on it, and I'll get it so that you can play on the piano and it'll play on the snippers. I mean, that's my goal. You know what I mean?
In my mind, I thought you had to let's say you were playing Minecraft, right? And you had to place a note block of code, and then so you had to.
Oh yeah, I mean, and that's.
That's
the origin, right? That's the first layer. That was the first project. The first time I played music, that's how it was.
By having it synced to a keyboard, where then you can just press a key instead of actually having to repeat the code to play the song. Having it have inputs, that makes it so much cooler.
And I can take MIDI files, or I can find an old NES ROM, and I can go in and find because NES ROMs are only playing frequencies. They're not even playing notes.
Really?
And that would be a problem if you were trying to play notes. But I can just glean the frequency and then power the frequency to the motor. And it could be a between note. It could be between an F and an F sharp. And I don't know what it is, but we can just match it exactly because all we're doing is pulsing the motor at a frequency. We're not playing an F. You know what I mean?
Can I do requests?
Yeah, of course. Please.
I want to hear the Nintendo Game Boy Pokemon. I want to hear it. Not tonight, but I mean as a TikTok.
No, I get it. Yeah.
And then so okay.
Well, here, hold on real quick.
Okay.
Cam says you could try using the Arduino Mega or Raspberry Pi for more inputs and outputs, or possibly a PLC. Not that I know what a PLC is, but that's what he said.
I do.
Yeah, and to that question, that's exactly essentially what I'm running out of is, like you said, PWM pins. And so, maybe Mega, or I'm sure I could go and get off of because I'm doing Circuit Python, so I don't even need the Arduino. So I could get off of the Arduino chipset and get onto something else. And there's a world of wonderful, wonderful hardware out there that's just so exciting. It's I feel like a kid again, honestly. This stuff has reignited that spark in me more than any other project that I've undertaken in the last 5 years or whatever. Just to know between me and the finish line is just me.
That is what the world needs right now. And so my coworker is struggling with just the onset of continual work all the time and getting extremely burnt out. And so he was on the edge of just having a really difficult time, and he said, fine, I'm going to sit down and start typing out a novel. And the novel has brought him back full swing into being his own self.
Yeah.
And so, and there's struggles with writing a novel. He's I'll be in a mindset and be excited to write. And then when I get into the computer, it changes. But him just even sitting able to concentrate his ideas. Dave.
Oh, I didn't know he wrote. Huh.
Oh, that. Yeah. He
cool.
loves writing. And so, that's been really cool. So to hear you talk about this, it is so refreshing. So what I was going to say is, for years, Chris and I have we're not going to make a TikTok just for no other reason. We have been on YouTube, and we have done Facebook videos, and we have done, it's how many platforms we have to try to be on here.
Well, it's that TikTok is the thing to do now.
Right. I know. And you have to go to where the people are.
Yep.
So just tell us, so you started a do you want to walk us down your TikTok journey, Mike?
Yeah, hell yeah. So it's literally here's me. I'm I've got this toy that I made, and I want to share with people. I don't know, how do I find this audience that's going to give a crap about this thing? Because it's admittedly pretty esoteric in a way. There's a subset of people who love it, and you guys seem to fall into it, and I appreciate that. But there's definitely a bunch of people out there who are going to go, what is that? Why is it making those horrible sounds? And I don't know how I'm going to find them. And it's my lady Lauren, she's been on TikTok for a while, and I've been kind of by myself resistant. What is this? I don't understand it. But
can I pause? And brag on her for just a second.
No, please.
So I've known you, and I've only got to know Lauren, right? Lauren?
Yes.
Through I've met her, but I've got to know her through Facebook. And one of my favorite times is when Fortnite came out. And then her getting into Fortnite, and then her first win. I was just living vicariously through her and her experiences. I remember my first battle royale. I was PUBG, but her hype and excitement was just it was so endearing and fun. So it was so cute to just see her excitement. She's won. Yeah, she's I won. It was epic.
Okay, if I ever played a battle royale, like, I'd be the first one dead. It'd be immediate. 99 players. No longer 100, 99.
Kara jumps out and doesn't open her chute and just
a Kara pancake.
Anyways, so Sorry, I just wanted to brag on her for a second that she's super awesome
please.
and her posts are amazing. And anyways, so continue on.
So also I'm going to break in real quick too. Cam says if you want, we can give you his contact info if you're looking for any assistance or someone to bounce ideas off of.
Sure, yeah, heck yeah. I'm totally down to talk to anyone who wants to know more. I'm down to talk.
He 3D printed that Yoda,
glow-in-the-dark Yoda
on the glow-in-the-dark Yoda up there, and then he actually sent it to us, and so we have it on a place of pride on our shelves here. So
it looks pretty cool when we shut the lights off to leave.
So of course, anyways, the reason why I brought up Fortnite and of course she's trendy and hip and on TikTok.
Of course.
So
she gets it. She does.
Okay,
she's a sharp cookie.
So she was on TikTok, and then okay. So go continue with your story of your TikTok journey.
So she would show me TikToks, and I'd be like, "What the heck is this?" And it was like always like the most random stuff. But like what I noticed, what was coming through to me was like the overwhelming, I guess, tide of it all is that people are happy and to share the things they're passionate about. And it's this 15 to 1 minute window, and the 15-second to 1 minute window where you're just like, hey, look at this thing that I'm doing. And she'd show me these things, and there'd be people doing like the most incredible, like crazy, like spinning art or, there's so much stuff on TikTok. And I was like, if I was doing any of those things, I would have no idea how to get anyone to want to interact with me. Like, I don't know. And she was like, you should make a 3D printing TikTok. And I was like, I don't know if people care about that because, the things I'm printing are things that I'm passionate about, but do people care about? I don't know.
Do you time-lapse your 3D prints?
I haven't been. I've built myself a rig to do it, but I haven't been doing it. It sits here. I print stuff, but I haven't done it yet.
It's hard to film it right between the lighting and the moving, but continue on. So go ahead.
So she was encouraging me to do a TikTok about my 3D printing, and I thought that was a good idea because I've got all these things that I'm making. I've got I don't know if you guys have seen. I designed a lift bridge, succulent planter, and then I designed a William A. Irvin succulent planter.
That's awesome.
And they're great. I love them. And, it's like, how do I connect that to people that care? I don't know. And then especially with the panorama, I've been not around people,
Right.
So that was her idea. She's thinking, like, there's plenty of people who love Duluth, plenty of people who would love to see a succulent planter get printed. And I wasn't reluctant, but I was on my way. But the underlying current there for me is that people post things that they're passionate about, and people find people who care. And anything, all this crazy stuff that I'm finding on there through hers, she's showing me, like this curated thing that she'd show me sometimes of like 10 TikToks. But like it kept coming back to what was really stuck to me, or what was fixed to me now when I think about it, is that there's just people on there, and they're not afraid to be who they are, and there's not like, you get so much persecution of difference, or you get so much like, oh, I'm getting judged, I don't want to share. Is this good enough? You don't have to worry about that on TikTok. I know it's not like it's not like an infomercial for TikTok, but it's like, it doesn't matter. It's a different kind of environment. You don't have to, in my experience so far, you don't have to worry about reading the comments like you do on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like YouTube, not to crap on YouTube, but it's like in my experience so far. And so in speaking about that, I've got like 13 videos up now, and people are interested, and it's something that's really, it's a satisfying feeling to know, like, how the heck am I going to know this? I think we're at like 1,700 fans now. I've been on there 5 days, and
1,802 at the start of the podcast.
1,800. Wow. Okay. Wow. I was way off.
We were we were the two.
Yep.
Oh, nice. Wow. Well, thank you very much. By the way, I really appreciate it.
The 1,802, not the second one that you. Yeah. Because we didn't have a TikTok. We made a TikTok tonight to follow you on there. Well,
thank you. And I was trying to tag, but I guess, like, I'm learning still. This is day 5, like I said. So I guess I can't edit my post now that it's up. But if I post any more Star Wars, I'll definitely tag you guys, because
awesome.
So that's where my heart is. That's why I made that one tonight, because I knew I was going to be talking to you guys.
So I've known you have an extensive video background. So you're used to like Premiere Pro or whatever NLE video editing software you prefer, and all of this stuff. What type of how are you cutting your videos together? Are you still shooting them on like your 5D? Or are you just using your phone, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I've got this. I've been so to be straight with you, I've just been using this Moto G Play Play or whatever it is.
Yes.
It's like $100 phone.
Yes.
And I've just been holding it over it and pushing record. And then I upload the video, and I haven't edited it, and it hasn't touched Premiere, and it hasn't touched my computer.
But isn't that simple?
And,
like, isn't that easy? Isn't that nice?
It's frustrating, to be honest. And it's frustrating only because I have spent years of my life working in various aspects of my career in video production, different places, different objectives, fighting to get people to like give a crap about something that I'm working on, just like to care. And it's frustrating because I literally just like, oh, I made this robot. Here, I'm going to shoot a video and share it with my friends. And my friends are like, you should put that on TikTok. And I put it on TikTok, and everyone's like, that's cool. And it's frustrating because I know, like what you're saying, I've got a 5D, I've got lights, I've got, audio recorder. I can print a bigger enclosure. Like there's all these things that I could do to if I was approaching this from the I'm making a video production perspective, there's all these things that I would do to try and, make it a 5-star or a 3-star or whatever production. But the bizarre or weird, like life shattering thing about this is it's like, it's not about that. People don't care about that. Not that they don't care, but like they're interested in the motors, the part that I care about.
Yeah.
And they don't care that I'm shooting on my phone. And so I can do that. And I'm sure that I will, but right now what's important is I'm just exploring this platform and like, learning how to work the motors better. Like I figured something out earlier that I've been fighting with. Like sometimes when I'm pulsing too many tones to too many motors, I think the motor gets out of time or something, and it stops making the right frequency, just making this high pitched squeal. Like, oh no. But if I play a note on all 8 note motors for like a second before I start the song, then they all get like locked into sync, and then everything's fine.
That's cool.
Like, how would I think to do that? I don't know. It's like it's learning. You know what I mean? It's just learning, and it's. So
I'm relating with you so hard right now because, Chris and Ken, there is sometimes this weird curve where it was like absolutely like the more effort we put into production and like we really try to dial it in, make everything look sharp. We study a topic, we just work really hard, and that content will get like a view, and then we'll just be really funny and silly, and we'll just do something off the cuff. And so there's like this reverse, the less effort we put in, the more views it gets. Just like these Lego mystery. So we did YouTube shorts with these Lego mystery packs, and Kara just opening them up and throwing Legos around.
People like me being ridiculous, apparently.
And like these videos were getting 4,000 views compared to 10,000, or whatever. And we're getting to the 20, 30 we normally get. So it's frustrating when you put a lot of time and energy.
It's like the Dunning-Kruger effort effect.
Yes, exactly.
The less professional you act, the more views you get.
And so that was something. That was something
weird, right? It's a weird sensation because you want the things you work hard on to be the things people care about.
Exactly. So weirdly enough, I pull inspiration out of the most random places, and I was driving to the studio a week ago, and they had an advertisement on the side of I-35 there, and it was the Wright brothers on their plane. And it was just an inspirational quote. I don't know who puts these billboards up, but it said, "The right idea will fly." And so that was like my inspiration recently. It was like, okay, this may not be it yet, but one of the projects we work on, something is the right idea will fly. And so for you, this has been the right idea. And I think it's just by keeping it as simple as you are, and even just firing up your phone and making a video about it, it's raw and honest, but
it feels like I have permission to just shoot a minute and then that's it. Because I've been thinking like there's songs that are like 5 minutes that I do want to do, but I can't put that on TikTok because you've got a 1 minute. And so maybe that's a place for YouTube for me. And maybe when I do that, then I put the phone on a guitar and the guitar resonates and it has a good tone. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? But it's like you're saying, it's really satisfying to just be raw and focused on the spectacle of this cool thing that I'm doing, which is like making these motors sing and not worrying too much about, is my phone getting good recording? It sounds good. I can hear it with my ears. My phone can hear it, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and so I miss Vine, and I don't know why Vine ever failed in the first place. And when it came out, I was all on board with Vine, and I just had a blast with it. And my little claim to fame is that Kevin Hart watched one of my videos, and it was and it was just me pulling up outside B&B in Cloquet, and I was like, hey, and then the camera pans, and then there's a bale of hay, and he laughed at it. He liked the video, and so I love that short form content delivery. Now that was that's just I don't know, like a mini sketch or a little mini story, and 7 seconds or whatever it was. But you're like Mark Robering stepper motors right now, and people just eat that up, and you've like found the perfect place to put it, which is really cool.
It's definitely it's a square wave that you're getting essentially, because it's either on or off, right? It's not, so there's a lot of different ways you can emit sound, but this is definitely like on, off, on, off, on, off. So that is very reminiscent of the square, or I guess they're not what they call sawtooth, like noise generators they had for Nintendo. And like you said, Game Boy, like those chips are straight up square wave generators. And so it sounds like Nintendo because it pretty much dang near is.
That's so cool.
So there's a lot to explore there. I'm really excited to do a lot more Nintendo songs, and people have been like saying like System of a Down, and it's like, okay, I think about a lot of these songs and I think, what's the part that isn't the voice though? And I also don't have an approach to drums yet. And I think if I found a good approach to drums, that would probably really bring up things. But
a car motor. Days, so. Apparently car motors only make clanking noises, so there you go.
Well, just you hook up one of the stepper motors to the kick drum.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, get a solenoid and have it flop a drum. So here's the secret, true origin of this. I've been thinking about wanting to build with my 3D printer a calliope that would play. I don't know if you guys know this. Here's some secrets.
Awesome.
Laying down some secrets about Myke D. I'm a huge Philip Sousa fan. Like I love marches.
Yeah.
And so one of my favorite things that I've ever done, my things that I get really excited about, is seeing marches performed. I saw this giant calliope at this park that we went to in Pennsylvania. Lauren brought me there, and they had this calliope out front that was like playing. It wasn't playing marches, but they're you generally like horns, or brass, and there's something magical to me about that, the feeling that I get when I hear those machines play. And so, or when you go to Disneyland and you hear the actual bands play, like Stars and Stripes Forever. I mean, it's just it's powerful. And, like that was the point of a Bart's or at least Sousa's work. But for me, I've been thinking like, how do I make music with my 3D printer? And so I went down for a while, I tried to make like slide whistles, and, I was trying to make like actual sound with the 3D printed stuff, but just PLA just doesn't lend itself to good tone. And so I had sort of all but given up on printing, musical instruments in that way. So this is really fortuitous just to have stumbled onto this, because it's kind of giving me some way back into that Calliope engine that I was dreaming of. I wonder if I could attach, this is me sort of just like live thinking here. I wonder if I could attach the motor to like a PVC pipe and then have the pipe resonate the tone.
Well, kind of like the Blue Man Group instruments.
Well,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, Blue Man Group, exactly. Yeah.
What I was
Blue Man stepper motors.
What I was going to say, and I tend to just this isn't plausible in the scope of what I can think of right now. But it'd be fun if you could somehow create abstract 3D prints where the stepper you take these stepper motors, you hook them up to an axis that would print something. So you can take that physical,
or we could design a print such that when it's sliced and prints, it plays the song while it prints. It might look like trash,
right?
Oh, that'd be cool though.
Or something.
I think people would really like that, because I've seen people do that with like notes and stuff. Like they'll have something playing in the background and be like, oh, if you do this, this is the song it actually plays. So if you were to do that, instead of seeing what the song was, it'd be, what's the print? That'd be really cool.
If you really want to go down like the Inception rabbit hole here, what you do is you have the stepper motors create a song that are also printing something. And then what's being printed is like a music drum that also then creates more music. So it like like
an old wax cylinder or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And then so it's like music being created or music being made while creating something that's created makes music. Like
we can have it print a lithograph, the lithographs you can see through, that is the sheet music of the song that's playing.
Exactly. It's just like when you take a selfie and then you take a selfie with your selfie, just like you keep barreling it down. But yeah, I was thinking of like the little ribbed thing you put in a music box, and as you wind it up, it flicks the, but I like the selfie within a selfie. So that's super, super cool. And what I was gonna talk about too, Mike, when I first met you, we nerded out, we talked about Arduinos and Raspberry Pi. And I just love Raspberry Pi so much that I have a Pi 4 and I haven't even done anything with it. I just saw that it's already 2 years old now or whatever. But when they made it, I'm just like, oh, I need one. And I
keep telling him we need to download all of like the old games and stuff like Nintendo and
Kara's
all that stuff.
Brother got one as a present, and it came preloaded with the Pi emulator on it and like an unfathomable amount of ROMs, old NES ROMs. And Kara fired it up, and she was playing the 7-Up Super Nintendo game where you're like the 7-Up.
Cool Spot.
Oh, heck yeah.
Cool Spot's the game.
Othello or whatever, basically.
Yep. And so like that was I like Pi arcades are super cool. I have made a Pi hole, which, redirects your DNS traffic through their blacklist or whitelist or whatever, and it just shoots everything into, so you don't see like any ads, and you can like set your phone's DNS to route traffic through there. Chris says somebody has a comment.
Yeah, so Cam says if you look into the 1980s oscilloscope shapes that produced music when hooked up to speakers, those patterns could possibly translate the sound of the stepper motors because of the frequencies used.
That's
exactly.
Cool. Yeah, this is like right up Cam's alley.
And the thing is, like,
he says he has 3.5 megabytes of Atari games.
Nice. That's a lot, though, considering they're like 8K each.
Yeah. That's like the entire Atari library.
Exactly, every game made.
But anyway, so like you and I, we've like, just talked about it. And I know like how long this stuff has been interesting to you. And I had got like a breadboard kit and an Arduino kit years ago too. And I had started doing a project with it. And I have like a nut and bolt separator in my basement filled with like resistors and different, circuits and LEDs, and they're so cool. So like to hear you talk about this stuff, I'm at like 4% of the knowledge that you have on the subject, but I at least like can visualize what you're doing when you're working on this stuff. And then so
it's funny you say that, because for me, I feel like, and maybe this is the truth about all technology or all things you make, I feel like this thing is like held together with duct tape. Like I know it works, and I know it's fine. It's sitting out there and it goes, but it's like, to me, every time I play it and it doesn't explode, I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, like this is cool. So I don't know if that's universal, but I feel like I have just scratched the surface of what I'm doing. Like I have a friend who over the last like 4 years changed careers and went through a boot camp and then got himself a job as a programmer, and now he's doing that. And like, this is a guy who, I didn't know programming before, and so now he's like completely flipped the side. Like he was behind me on the programming, and he had zero knowledge, and now he's the guy that I think of as like he's the master. And it's so crazy how fast a focused attention on a thing and just like focusing your energy on learning it, you can like the things that I know are a lot, but only in CircuitPython and MIDI now, because I spent 3 days learning exactly how the MIDI how the MIDI works, because I have to interact with it. And I don't understand it completely, but I understand enough to make it do the tones. And I feel like the more that I grow, the more that I get older, the more I realize I think that might be everything all the time. And I think everyone might just be in constant wonder and awe that things continue to work.
Well, the first time I 3D printed something, I'm like, yep, this thing's going to break anytime I use it. Because it's just like anything. I get done fixing a vehicle, right? Like I put new brake pads in, and I always like look at people if I'm doing it, if I'm helping somebody or whatever. And I'm like, well, it's time to see if it works. They look at me like, well, why wouldn't it? It's like, I don't know. I did it, but it doesn't mean I know what I'm doing. Like I tried.
I didn't invent the concept of brake pads.
Yeah, exactly. That's my thought process. I didn't invent the caliper. I didn't invent the brake rotor. I'm just taking these other inventions and just, making them look like they did before I touched it with the new parts instead of the old. That's all. But yeah, I always feel like everything's going to break. Same thing with the drone. So Chris and I went out flying drones, right? And I used the drone for the first time, and it's just like,
oh God,
my heartbeat races, and it's like, this thing's going to fall out of the sky. I just know it is. It's not going to make it. And then,
it's gonna.
And then I know. And now I'm just, like you get confidence in the equipment and stuff like that. But
he's the person who got me into drones.
Yes, totally.
And, the first thing that you told me is like, it's not a matter of If it's going to crash, it doesn't matter when it's going to crash.
Yep.
And I have more crashes than literally every other person at KBGR with our drones.
Well,
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably means you're using them the most too.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's because I use them the most because I'm not afraid to take it out. And it's like, oh no, I broke a propeller, whatever.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly. But the first time it goes down, you're like, oh no, a propeller.
I know. That would be me 100%. Yeah. That would be so sad. Because I am just like really cautious with this stuff. But like I had... Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to tell you, we put that S1000 into the freeway, and that was a very humbling experience.
Oh, I would imagine. I can't. I remember when Chris called me and told me that story. So, and I was like, "There's no way."
It
was like a helpless feeling too.
An SD card with like some scrap.
Yes. We got almost all of the pieces of the SD card and most of the camera and parts of the lens, but there was a smoldering boulder of a battery because a semi had hit the battery. So we threw that into our ammo can and we drove it away and put it in a safe place, as you're supposed to do. Just because we had our ammo can with us, we felt really smart. We were like, wow, we're geniuses. We're glad we had this because, what are you going to do with a smoldering battery?
Yeah, as it melts through the backseat of your vehicle.
That's right. And, those fumes, I'm sure, are really good for you. I think that's turn you into an X-Men.
Yes. It's smoldering battery boy. What's his power?
Yeah,
it's humbling where he sits.
Exactly. That's right.
I feel Battery boy, I feel like any electronic you touch is immediately charged. Like, just ready to go. Like, Jeremy's phone running out of battery, let me grab that for you.
Hey, not all heroes wear capes.
Right? I mean, I think that'd be the superhero I'd want next to me. I'd be like, hey, dude, my phone's almost dead. Touch this. Boom, charge.
I just picture a funny story. It is like Batman's at a Comic-Con taking pictures with people, but the line is longer for Battery Boy because everybody's got to get their phone charged before they take a picture. So it's like you're more popular, but...
Who needs cables when you could, if your car needs to be jumped? Yep. Battery Boy's right there.
Working for AAA in the daytime. Right. It's like, where's your jumper box? He's like, don't worry about it. Go.
I like this idea.
So yeah, I love that. I'm having a very distinct memory of the first time I heard my 3D printer and how iconic those stepper motors are. So I've got to ask now, though, you're ordering your parts and trying to keep the cost down of the build. How many like DOAs have you had, like dead on arrival motors, or have you blown up a motor yet, or have you done anything crazy?
So the motors I've actually invested in the motors because I wanted them to not explode. But so none of the motors have been bad, and all the motors I've never had a motor die on any of my cross my fingers here, right, or knock on wood. On my Ender, it's been a workhorse. I have put that thing through hell, and it is just, I'm like, I don't care. And so, because like I mistreated it so badly when I first got it, I didn't know, you don't know what you're doing. And I abused the hell out of it, and it's still here. And I broke the extruder. I broke, it comes with, my printer came with a plastic, like the arm that holds the filament, the wheel onto the extruder to push it through the extruder. Yep. It was a plastic arm, and of course it has like a microfracture like the third time you print, but you can't see it, and I don't know, and you're like, why am I under extruding? And you go through this whole process, and you realize, because it's not being squeezed enough to be pushed through the printer. So, but as things break, you replace them, and it's been my policy to just replace things with parts that are reputable. So the only things that I really skimped on in this case was the CNC shield for the Arduino, and I got an Arduino clone because I didn't care to pay for an Arduino either.
No, yeah.
And so like none of those have all been good. I mean, I was really nervous, you know what I mean? Because even like there's like these the stepper drivers, those were like the cheapest of all the things I bought, and those all came, and they even came with free. I was like, they were coming with you have to put what is it called? Radiator, not a radiator, but a heat sink. To put a heat sink on the back of the one of the chips because it gets really hot because it's driving all that electricity. And all the reviews online were like, it comes, but it doesn't come with any paste, and you have to buy your own paste, and it doesn't come with jumpers. And I was like, okay, so I preemptively ordered a tiny amount of thermal paste, and I pre-ordered some jumpers. And guess what? The kit I got had everything included, and it came with the thermal paste already applied to the back of the heat sinks, and it's just like, people talk such crap on Amazon, but I've lucked out, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Well, Chris, when we built your computer, didn't it say it didn't come with your cooler, didn't come with thermal paste, and it did?
Exactly.
Yep. So because he bought it, I wiped off the stock stuff and put the other, but only because he bought
good.
It, so.
Yeah. Well, in this case, they're so small, I didn't feel that it was necessary for me to mess with it, but,
right.
I have it. I've got the replacement here in case I need it. So
that's super cool.
So luckily in that case, I haven't had anything dead, but there's definitely, in the other project I work on, when I was working on the phone, I'm buying old used phones from, eBay, and I got a phone that didn't have a ringer bell in it. And it's like, how the hell am I even supposed to ask for someone to tell me if they took the ringer bell out?
Hey, can you?
And it's like, I didn't know that. So
can you do a test phone call with this, please, and make sure it's still in working order? And it's like, buddy, you're buying this for, I just would imagine what the seller would say. Believe it or not.
Because especially like the one that the red one here, I bought a red one. It straight up didn't even have a cable. Like it didn't ripped out of the wall. And so it's like, how am I reasonably going to ask any adult to test the phone for me?
Right.
Sure. Could you just wire up a Cat 5? Well, not Cat 5, Cat 4, whatever the heck the phone is, and find a jack to plug it into, and then no. So buyer beware in that way. Oh, but I'm looking around here because you got me thinking. The next project I had bought before the stepper started was I bought a couple of Billy Bass fishes that I was going to try and make sing.
Oh my funny story for you. I don't know if anything on it works, but I have the McDonald's one. Have you seen the McDonald's?
What?
Yep, where it's blue instead of green, and when you hit it, it says, "Give me back that Filet-O-Fish. Give me that
That's
fish."
an iconic song.
Yeah, and so what if it was you hanging? I got to finish it up on that wall. If it was you in the sandwich, you wouldn't be laughing at all. Anyways, I found it. I literally know right where it is. So if you want it.
It's blue?
It's blue.
Please. So I've got a Billy Bass, and I've got what's this one called? It doesn't have the name on it. But it is a trout. So,
trout.
Yeah,
right.
no, this thing is it looks like it's all blue.
It's the treble trout.
Oh, there you go.
Or tenor trout.
Well, we should
tenor
look
trout.
into it.
There you go.
Because quite literally, the music machine is not going to end with stepper motors, I don't think. I think I've got an idea for, I'm going to buy a small cymbal so I can build a little solenoid powered hi-hat. Because I think people would be really satisfied with that,
You get one of the monkeys that plays the cymbals. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly, that's right.
Right?
That's right. Oh, I could just get one of those. Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need to build it. I can just power one of those.
Exactly.
Wow. What
You're
a terrifying
welcome.
nightmare this is going to be. Yeah, I'm very excited. Three fish,
And
a bunch of creepy motors, and a monkey banging some cymbals. I'll wear it on my back like a backpack.
Right.
Literal monkey on the back.
So I saw you had did a call in and you did a little video and you had shared that to your Facebook. I had seen for your cell phone. Is the cell phone mobile? Could you take that out and about and have and use it?
That's the idea. It's really hard to show off because it's like Panorama's got me stuck in the house, but it is battery powered. And the only reason I have it plugged in, it's not even, I could plug it in and it would take we could maybe use it in about an hour. There's an internal battery that's for the phone, and then there's another battery that's for the Arduino portion. And they're both dead right now because I have to resolder one part. But anyway, the point is, it's on the, what is it, AT&T and Sprint network. And it's got unlimited calling, unlimited text, although I don't know how you're going to get a text, but you could. And
I remember
$6 a month.
I remember the
King,
night.
That's what it is. King.
I remember the night you were on that show and you talked about maybe having a little tiny printer that prints out your text messages and how cool.
Oh yeah. I do want to do that, a thermal printer, and I've got another phone here. It's funny actually because looking at those thermal printers, those tiny ones, is actually part of what got me down the journey onto these stepper motor singing. Because I was looking at different thermal printers, and someone had used thermal printers to make them sing. And I was like, This is interesting. And
that's cool.
So it's actually, you just helped me reconnect the thread. We CSI'd this for me. That's where this all came from.
You know what else you should use? We've talked about the sound before, but the old printers.
Dot matrix.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Exactly. You should do something like that too. I'm just saying, you could probably get those printers real cheap.
Oh yeah, I bet you're right. Yeah, that's
just go to Goodwill. Something's got to have some, right?
Yeah. Look at that dumpster behind the SMDC/Essentia building.
Yeah,
should have just filled with them. They used to have those at when I worked at Domino's. They would print the stickers for the boxes.
Oh,
and just the most annoying sound. And you're just sitting there. Then someone took an order on the phone. Did you hear that? And I go, time to work.
Yep. Chris, we have a comment come in.
We did. So this is Swanky's talking about cell phone salespeople. He went with his mom when going to get his new smartphone, and he says these salespeople say anything false trying to convince you to buy the most expensive, outrageous device, like saying 256 gigabytes of memory is enough to stream video, et cetera, et cetera. It's like, and people believe them in this nonsense. And then so you turn around, and then Myke D turns an old rotary phone into a cell phone.
So that's just what they need. You hit a market, Mike. You've created a product that the elderly need. It's familiar. Imagine you could have a big thermal printer. So instead of worrying about how many megabytes on your phone, what size of thermal printer do you need to be able to read it?
24-point font on these texts, baby.
Because I love it. Both two of my coworkers at work, when I ever have to use, they have iPhones and their screen size.
Grandma, she'll get it on the ticker tape.
Yeah. So their accessibility settings are like 200%. So yeah, just imagine accessibility settings on a printer, for a.
What are you doing, Grandma? I'm waiting for Grandpa to text me. Standing there staring at the.
Oh, it'd be fun too if you had a pre so like a barcode or pre whatever, and you just feed it into a slot. Like at the casino when you're putting your code in
to send messages?
Send it back, yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah, so you just feed into.
I could get one of those hand guns like at the library where they scan the barcode.
Yeah.
The handheld one, and just print out a big sheet that has yes, no. I'm busy tonight, and she could just scan the barcode with her gun.
Yes, you can incorporate the laser reader into the handset that goes on the rotary phone. Yeah.
Oh, that's so smart. And the barcode could be in the handset, or the laser.
Yeah, the laser could be. Yep. So you just are pointing the handset around, and then also for secret conversation, they also make rotary phones with push to talk. So there's a button in the middle of the handle you have to squeeze. So if you're not squeezing, it mutes. That's that could be useful on a rotary mobile phone.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you giving an example?
That's interesting.
Chris, for people who don't know what a rotary phone is.
Well, this is literally the phone Myke sent me.
Oh, nice. Okay, Chris is pulling up the actual asset here.
Oh, sweet.
Which is super
Well, I mean, we might have people watching who have no idea what a rotary phone is.
That's right.
I had a rotary phone in my house back when I was a kid.
So this is the assembled phone. Which
I'm coming to look
here. Oh my goodness. Here's the insides of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there it is. So you can see there's a button on that. The K came with a button. I think there was a hold button or something.
Yeah.
And then, there's I mounted an endoscope camera to my 3D printer, so you could see the printing.
Oh, that's cool.
That's what there's a short video.
I went the wrong way. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. But that's cool too. That's something I worked on. But I crashed the mount into the print because I printed something too large because I didn't account for the 100 millimeters of hangover that the camera was. But so that's the thing I disassembled there. So you can see that one's got a bell in it, and the way that I'm ringing the bell is I put a little piezo vibration motor between the bells. It's just dangling in there, barely held together with literally held together with a piece of tape, and then. The receiver, like the hang up thing, is just a switch. So you put it hangs up. It says I'm hung up. You lift it up. The switch is open. Easy enough. And wire that to a pin. And then the rotary, when you spin the rotary, it pulses a connection closed twice for every rotation. So I just have the Arduino waiting, and then you spin the dial, and then as soon as you release, it starts pulsing the rotary, and it pulses at a consistent speed because it's powered by that spring. So I can, within 300 milliseconds, stop receiving numbers. You know what I mean? So you dial a 4 and then immediately dial a 3. It's no problem. I'm not going to think it's a 7.
Nice.
So it was a really fun project because it really got me familiar with working with wiring, doing soldering, leveling up that skill set, and detective skills because I had to work out what wires did what on the rotary, and sort of problem solve some of the many problems you run into. There's a lot of room inside the phone, but guess what? A lot of it's like hard, solid metal that you can't remove.
Yeah.
So getting the Arduino to fit in there just right, and
but like to me, this just like is the equation for a viral video. If you actually like filmed like you just using it, like if you were just down at Park Point or down in Canal Park.
Exactly. That's my plan. That's my future plan. Exactly. You just leave the phone on the rocks and walk away and call people.
Oh, gosh, you know what would be cool?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Mystery phone. People would look at it. They'd be like, what?
Okay. So people, our mobile phones make or take pictures, right?
Yep.
How cool would it be to somehow build a Polaroid camera?
Oh, like an Instamatic?
Yeah. So then you can like install the Polaroid somehow into the phone and take a picture, and then it just spits out a Polaroid for you.
Well, and so that could be as simple if you didn't want to overthink it. You could literally like everything else is held together with like duct tape. You just duct tape a Polaroid camera to it. Because that's the equivalent of what. That's all smartphone people do. Like they came out with the phone, the cell phone, and they're like, let's just slap a camera lens on there, and let's just slap a headphone jack on there, and like it's how it's evolved over time.
Just duct tape an iPod to the phone,
or a gramophone on one side, and you gotta like crank it.
Oh my gosh! Right, little music box.
It's gotta be a Walkman.
Yes.
But
and just have a CD case sitting there, full of CDs.
Oh man, there's the sky's the limit.
Could get one of those zinc printers though, and install that in the base of the phone, and then just put like a tiny little crappy camera somewhere in it, and then.
I love those zinc printers.
Dial 00 and then it takes a picture or something. Or double tap the hang up button.
Oh, that's so cool.
Now, okay, what's a zinc printer? I feel
that's the thing we used to have.
Oh, it's a Polaroid.
Yeah, but it's like
it's a really genius thing that Polaroid did, where they were like, "Oh, we no longer have these cameras, but we want to make a printer that does it. Instead of having ink in the printer, you have the ink in the paper."
Oh, it's like the Sprocket.
Yes, that Sprocket is one of them. Yep, HP did it. Polaroid did one.
But we've got two Sprockets.
We do. We got to bust those out.
Those are great. They're so fun, right? Because it's like the fun of a Polaroid. You can print 2 copies if you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. We did it because we ran an art event where we would take pictures of people and then give them just.
We had a little photo booth.
Photos and we had like the fun, paper glasses you hold up over your face, blah blah blah. But the sprockets will overheat and not very long. Like it'll probably have a cooldown window of about 5 minutes. So by running 2 sprockets, it's just allowed us we never overheated in that way.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
The paper's expensive though.
Yeah, we didn't realize that going into it. We're like
25 cents a piece, right?
Yeah. And people are coming up, little kids are coming up. Can we get our picture taken again? It's like you can, but everybody get at least one first.
Yeah.
But so you can have it.
Shake people sit down by the ankles to get their money out.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like at any holiday meal with like your whole entire family. It's like everybody goes up once. Once everybody has gotten something to eat, then you can go up for seconds.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so Myke, because we are, we do talk a lot about pulp culture. Get me spooled up on. I mean, is there anything that you're like watching or enjoying or reading, or comic books or fan fiction? Like, what do you enjoy?
So I was resistant to. I don't know if this is appropriate. So you guys just leave me on. You guys watch Schitt's Creek?
Okay,
yes, I love that show so much. Oh, David. Okay,
there you go. So I was initially resistant because I was like, I don't know, this seems like a show that's going to be for people that aren't me. But then Lauren was like, no, I love it. And I was like, okay. And much like this, and then this also goes for me with The Office. I didn't watch The Office. Then Lauren was like, you should watch The Office. Exactly. And then I watched it and I was like, damn, this is just a show about Dwight and how wonderful he is, man. I love it. I love the show, And so Schitt's Creek's been recent for me. And then I just started watching on Prime, Utopia.
I have not seen that.
It's new. It's got a star-studded cast. Like Rainn Wilson, of course, is in it. Like we were just talking about The Office, but then Cusack, and so far those are the people I've seen. It's really cool. It's really interesting. It's like a comic book kind of. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's really interesting. What else have I been interested like watching? TikTok. That's a new thing for me.
Yeah, I suppose the sky's the limit for you there. You'll never run out of content.
It's true. Those are the shows I've really been getting into lately. And it's you know what else? I've been making Lauren watch Enterprise.
Fun.
Next Generation.
That's what I grew up with.
I'm sorry, Next Generation.
Next Gen.
Yeah, so then, because my favorite is DS9, and so I want to get her into that. But to get there, I didn't think it was appropriate to just go straight into DS9. So,
I mean, Patrick Stewart, come on, Picard.
I know he's unbelievable.
He's super cool.
And to watch it again, it's just like I've seen episodes that I was like I must have seen that when I was 7, but I don't remember, and here it is again. So
I mean, I could watch all of Next Gen and it'd be all new to me because I was probably 5.
What
platform
when I saw
were
you watching that Star Trek on?
It's on Hulu, isn't it?
I think on Hulu. Yeah. Hulu.
Yeah.
Well, we happen to have Hulu now. We have a subscription.
I kind of do want to go through and rewatch all the Star Treks because I watched the original with William Shatner with my family, but then as a kid, like I said, it was Next Gen that we watched.
I've down for that.
I have to confess, though, I haven't seen The Mandalorian, so you don't have to crucify me, but I just know that I need to watch it. And
oh my God,
should have actually been requisite watching before I even got on here. I realized. But.
As long as you're willing to give it a shot, if you like Star Wars, like if somebody came up to me and they're like, "Hey, I don't like Star Wars," I wouldn't like. I mean, I'd say
really?
You might like The Mandalorian, but I'm still not going to be sad if it's just like, nah, I'm good.
Well, it's nice because you don't have to know a darn thing about Star Wars in order to watch Mandalorian.
Right. Oh, that's fantastic. That's the fear of.
Now this phone call's over.
Who said that?
Swanky.
Yes, Swanky. So, did you ever watch Big Bang Theory, Mike?
So good.
So Big Bang Theory and I have a bad relationship because my family thinks that I'm going to really like it. And then I watch it, and then I watch an episode, and what happens is they'll say something which is set up, in my opinion, as like a joke for people who don't know anything about a subject, and then the audience has that canned laugh that gets hit. So it's just like, ha, 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 ha. And I'm sitting there going like, I mean, I guess it was sort of funny, right? Like it's like a Simpsons kind of joke, like where I smirked, and then everyone's in the audience is laughing so hard, and then I sit there and I think like, am I not getting this? Or... what's happening? And so like I'm having like a negative feedback on the laugh track, I think is what's happening with that show for me.
So the way you just described, like they coaxed a smirk out of you, as my coworkers have called me out, or one specifically, Derek, is he comes up and everybody loves to show me things, and I love seeing what people show me. But he comes up and I like subconsciously would dismiss him with things I don't like by saying that's funny. So if he'd show me something and I actually thought it was funny, I would laugh, right? But then because of Minnesota Nice and not wanting to hurt his feelings, and he showed me something, and I was like, oh, that's funny. And so, but I love that he called me out on it. He's like, so one day he just randomly, he's like, I said, oh, Derek, that's funny. And he goes, oh, you did it again. And he just like deflated. And I said, what are you talking about? And he says, well, don't you know? If ever you told me that's funny, you don't actually think it's funny. You're just trying to not make me feel bad or everybody. And so I totally noticed myself doing it. And so, you know, like I either have to like let things, you know, I don't know how you say, I still appreciate it. And I can still like, it can elicit a smirk from me, right? I just doesn't have to be bust out laughing.
Well, so that's, I want to sort of jump in here for a second. I laugh out loud here all the time because we're talking about stuff that's like really in my wheelhouse. I don't like when I'm watching something or somebody shows me something. I almost never am like a laugh out loud type of person. And then people are always like disappointed. It's like that's just not how I react to this type of media. It's like if it's like a witty conversation and you get me and it's like, oh, that was hilarious, I'll laugh.
Right.
But if it's like some like guy gets hit in the nuts with a rake, it's like it's kind of funny because it happened to somebody else. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh,
I know, like
fall on the ground.
There are people who will just bust a gut laughing, and I'm the same way. Like I'll be watching something and I'll be like, huh, that's funny, but it's never like rolling on the floor like super funny laughing.
Does that mean that we have better or worse senses of humor? That's the question. Do we have just like a higher threshold of comedy, or are we just not engaging with comedy as much as other people?
Well, I feel like my family, we like when we watch movies and stuff, it was very rarely like busting a gut laughing, you know?
Anyway, so the whole reason I brought up Big Bang Theory was for specifically to relate to an actor that it's the only place I know him besides. Have you seen The Last Blockbuster, Mike?
Was it called The Last Blockbuster?
Yeah, have you seen that film? It's a documentary
on Netflix.
The Last Blockbuster.
No.
Oh
no. Okay, I understand now. I thought I didn't. The words. It was like the syllables were broken in my mind. Blockbuster, as in the store. The Last Blockbuster. Yes. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen it, but I'm aware of it. Yes.
The really gravelly, bigger guy. He's got a gravelly voice, and you just like want to spend all your time with him.
He's a geologist in Big Bang.
He's the geologist in Big Bang Theory. He's also the cab driver in the first episode of The Mandalorian.
Brian Posehn.
Yes. Do you know who that is, Mike?
Brian Posehn?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's in all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's amazing. He's in Big Bang Theory, and that's the only place I know him in. And he also was in The Last Blockbuster, the movie.
He's one of those like C tier guys that's just in everything.
I just want to spend copious amounts of time.
Right.
Like I want to play like D&D with him or something.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. I think he was in Sarah Silverman Project.
I think you're right.
Or am I crossing the stream? But I can see him in my mind anyway. Such an older show.
Back to the
yeah, Swanky just said he was in the Sarah Silverman show. Also, he was in Devil's Rejects.
I can't believe you guys just know all this stuff. You would make me laugh about your specific talking about Dwight in The Office. Is if you actually like the moments where Dwight shows that he has a compassion human side are some of the best like moments in the show, in my opinion. I love nice Dwight. Mm-hmm. When he's actually
in the same way that you watch Schitt's Creek and you go like Alexis is trash.
Yeah.
But then as you watch her grow, it's just a satisfying show to be a part of because you're like, damn, even though she was trash, now she's grown into this wonderful woman that you're just like so proud to know.
I think she's hilarious. Like,
yeah, exactly. And it's such a good transformation for her. And there's somebody on that show that happens. But then you think, Dwight, like what you're talking about, those episodes that you like the most, when you actually watch the show,
right? The
episodes you like most are when you see compassion, when you see growth. When you watch the show incidentally, like if it's Law and Order and you don't pay attention to the characters, that kind of stuff's going to get lost on you.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yep.
And so then it's interesting to hear from people who are like not actual fans, but people who've watched the whole show. You get to watch that transformation. It's really sad.
Mm-hmm. And then this is completely doesn't have anything to do with like that specific character development. But I love the one where Michael's out in the woods trying to survive and he's watching him through a rifle scope and he's like, "It's totally fine. The safety's." He looks down at the gun and clips it off, or safety's on, and he clips it on. That was one of my favorite jokes on that show. But so just like to talk about nerdy stuff. Still, I know we've talked about Dominion in the past.
Oh yeah.
Have you played Heroes Realm at all?
Heroes Realm? No, I haven't.
It's a new deck building game that the people. That have liked Dominion, they should really try it, I guess. And so I just picked up a copy tonight, and I can't wait to try it out. So sometime we might have to play that together because deck building games are really, really fun. And especially what I like about a deck building game like Dominion is the even playing field that you start from, as compared to Magic, where I have to like go and find all the cards. Yes. With this Heroes Realm, I've watched a video on it or two, and what I thought was pretty neat is it is similar. Like you start with cards, like you don't have to go buy boosters, and it's not like pay to win. But one of the main mechanics is the cards you buy with like the money, they're not always going to be there. So like you deal them out, and then like as you buy one, it gets replaced by another one from the draw pile, and you build, build up that way. And then there's different ways you can play it. So you can play like you versus another player, and then like in Mario Party. You've got the classic 3v1 mini games. There's like a boss deck that you can buy, and somebody plays that, and then it's 3-on-1, 3 players versus the one person who plays the boss deck. So there's like some different mechanics. So I heard that was pretty cool. I'm excited to try that. If anybody's in chat has played any of these games, let me know. Or if you have a game that's like Dominion, that's a deck building game, let us know.
Have you ever played? This is not. Oh, there's a game. I can't remember what it's called though. It's a card build, like a deck building game. It's a computer game though. It's like Spire, something like that.
No.
Oh damn! I watched so many videos of it online, and I've never played it, but I've watched so many people play it. Oh my gosh!
Do you have a Steam, like a Steam account, or what?
Say what?
Do you have like a Steam account for playing PC games, or do you play it like on? Where did you see it?
Oh, I was just watching it on YouTube. I consume so much YouTube. Some days I just watch like days and days, and then I just don't watch it at all. And it was this game that
you're a Brad. Brad binges content and then he leaves and doesn't come back for a while, and then he comes back and binges again.
That's right. That's me. Yeah. That's exactly me on YouTube.
Yeah,
I go and log in. My subscription's got 30 days worth of subscriptions. All right, here we go.
Yeah, it put me into cardiac arrest every other week because it'd be like, Brad left us. He's our top fan. He left us.
I was going to say, is Brad here tonight?
He said something earlier.
Oh, did he? Didn't hear you say.
So that was always really fun.
You haven't busted a gut yet from something Brad said.
I mean, I can't help it. He says he resembles that remark, by the
way. He resents that remark?
Resembles
that remark.
You never heard that before? Oh, that's when I can't remember what the actual phrase is. The one that was based off of hey, are you...
I thought it was resent
people,
that. Yeah,
it's supposed to be resent.
Yeah, people say it.
But what he's saying is you're
yeah.
accurately portraying him.
Yeah. Oh, got it.
I resemble that.
I resemble that.
Got it.
I don't think we'd have to walk all the way down that road, but there we are.
Yeah, we walked it.
All right. No, it's fine. It's fun. It's sometimes etymology is worthwhile,
Well, words are hard for me, Mike. No, I'm just kidding. It's a joke.
True. Legos are hard for him too, so he sticks with Dupelos.
Everything's hard for Jeremy, except for that one thing.
So, anyways, so you do have at least some interest in, you love the original Star Wars movies, don't you, Mike?
Oh, heck yeah. I was the first one in the line for tickets for episode 1 at the Premier Theaters there in Cloquet.
Yes. Yeah. Chris and I were there as well.
They put me on the TV and put a microphone on me, and that was my first taste of fame,
Nice.
Couldn't get enough. No, I don't know if that's true.
Myke D, first place.
Everything I said, everything until I said the first taste of fame is true.
Yeah, no.
Daryl says,
and that was it was fun. And you guys go to the opening night? They gave out the sodas and the popcorn.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because it was included in the ticket. So I was just we had bought 7 tickets. So we had bought almost the entire row, and 4 of my friends were with me, and we realized that there was no checks or balances, any enforcement on how many you took. So the geniuses that we were in 7th grade or something, we went back and got 5 each. We'd get them, go put them under the seats in front of us, go back. Well, on the last trip, obviously the last trip, this guy who looked like Carrie, he looked like the dude from, yeah, exactly. I know how to say his name. He looks like him. He worked at the theater there, and I remember him, and I still remember him. He's still in Duluth. He took it upon himself to come and enforce the only one per person rule on us. And so he came and he's like, no, you guys already got one. You can't have those. And he came to the aisle where we were, and he was like, come on, you guys got to dump those out. And we're like, that's so stupid. It doesn't make any sense. While we're arguing with him down the aisle, my friends are pushing the ones that we've already got under the seats in front of us so that it looks like we've thrown away all the extras.
Yeah.
And so we threw away 3 extras, but then we had all the ones we stuffed under the seats in front of us. It was just disappointing.
Well, that's
that he would enforce that.
It's
say, don't come and get me more, but come on.
I mean, it's wasting at that point. It's you already have it. So just at that point, be okay, no more.
I mean,
it's not even going to get somebody else.
I think as a kid,
that's right.
I don't know why at our local movie theater they called them. Can I say the Dino Tray? Is that what they were called?
I think so.
Yeah, exactly. Yep,
and
that's right.
That was the coolest thing in the whole world because you have a piece of cardboard that's sectioned off into a popcorn holder, an airhead holder, and a soda holder. Is that all it was the Dino Tray?
Yep.
It was amazing. And it was you felt like $1 million. So to just have a stockpile of them, you're dragon hardened your gold. Yes, my precious. Oh, yeah. Here's all my stuff. And then somebody
I never got one.
Comes in. You never got a Dino Tray?
What? Take her there immediately.
I know.
Yeah, let's say
well, okay, so I had a family of 5, so they're not going to buy Dino Trays for 3 kids. And then
exactly. It's already $40 for the
Jeremy was living the life over there as practically an only child.
Basically only child.
Yeah, well, I'll enjoy a Dino Tray for both of us. No, that's why they just need to take you out one by one. Sometimes, so my coworker who has 5 kids, they will do things one-on-one with their children so that they don't run into that problem.
That's smart. Yeah.
And so they'll do things as a family, but they'll also maybe just daddy and daughter go to a movie together one-on-one so that child gets the Dino Tray without having to.
I only have one memory of going to a movie with my dad. My entire life, I only have one memory of it. And it was Jurassic Park.
Yes.
And my mom and my dad got divorced when I was 0. And then he got remarried when I was 11. And he remarried a lady that had 4 children already. And so at this point, there's 5 of us. and he brought us all to the movie, and that's a lot. And so we brought soda cans with us. And I remember feeling so scandalized by the whole experience to be in there and be like, I have to open this can. When am I going to open it? It was like the first time I ever broke the bringing treats in rule, you know, when it was with my dad and it was to bring soda in.
Oh man. Opening night, Return of the King, I dressed up as Arwen and I had like the full cape and everything. And so under the cape, I just had a Walmart bag of candy and like a 6-pack of Mountain Dew bottles.
Now I want somebody to do a reshoot of what character were you?
Arwen. I was wearing her bridge dress when she kisses Aragorn from Fellowship of the Ring. I made it.
When did you dress up as the ghoul thing in Lord of the Rings? You have a black.
The ring wraith.
The ring wraith.
That was for my younger brother's 13th birthday.
Well, I would love it if you went to the movie theater as a ring wraith,
13th,
and then so I just want to see the movies, and then like a ring wraith is attacking somebody, and then out drops this like a 2-liter from his jacket in the Lord of the Rings, you know, like he's going after Frodo, right?
He goes after Arwen, who's carrying Frodo, who'd been stabbed by the Nazgul blade.
Yeah, and he says he's chasing him down, like, he's riding on the horse because aren't they galloping across the field at one point? And just like M&M's falling down. Yeah. Go ahead.
Not like a competition or anything, but I just want to know, and this is me patting myself on the back, I think I have the most scandalous thing brought into a movie theater by me. But I wonder, what do you guys think is the most scandalous thing you've brought into a theater? And then I'll tell you what mine is.
I mean,
the movie, I'll give you a hint. The movie I brought it into was Marie Antoinette.
I mean, so
it has nothing to do with what I brought in.
Well, you guys are thinking about the most scandalous thing you brought into a theater. I just got a couple of comments I got to catch up on.
Totally.
So Swanky was explaining, I resemble that remark originates from the Three Stooges.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yes, of course.
That makes sense.
And he says, if it were me, I would probably end up forgetting a one-on-one with one of my kids, and it would really mess them up.
Oh, yeah, yes. That's true.
So for me, it was just like I always hit up Walgreens or CVS for their dollar movie theater candy, and I always just buy the 4 for $4 or 4 for $5 or whatever it ends up being, and that's what I'll sneak in. So that's like the most gutsy I've been.
I had the 6-pack of Mountain Dew.
Yeah,
bottles.
That's pretty 6-pack of Mountain Dew
bottles.
That's pretty I think that competes with me, honestly, because that's a lot of volume.
It is. And then I had the Walmart bag had like Twizzlers and like full bag of Twizzlers and stuff like that in it. Like
a backpack inside, or
no, it was just a bag. Like when I went in, I just made sure my left hand stayed under my cloak.
Oh, okay, smart. Yeah.
Right? And so then everything was done with my right hand. But since I had this floor length, voluminous cloak.
Yeah. Well,
nobody even guess.
Who's going to come lady, lift up that cloak real quick.
No, right?
Yeah,
I'd be
right.
I don't think so, sir.
You brute.
Right?
All right, Mike. So what did you sneak in, Mike, or bring in?
Okay, so I was going, I was in Florida going to school. And they had a deal at the pizza place near my house on Tuesdays, I think it was, or Wednesdays. You could get 25-cent wings. And my whole life, this has been a theme for me. I always am like a huge wing dude. So I used to go to Ground Round in Duluth, like as many people as I could round up, and we just eat just hordes of wings. But anyway, so I went on that night. I had already pre-planned that I was going to get wings, and then a friend of mine was like, "Hey, we're going to go to Marie Antoinette. Do you want to come?" And I had already ordered my wings, so I was like, "Sure, no problem." So I went down with some gallon-sized purse, like a Ziploc bags, got my wings, and then in the car I poured 50 wings into Ziploc bags.
Oh my
And then I put them in a camera bag. They're not just regular wings; they were garlic Parmesan wings.
Yes.
So I got in there and I just have them under my arm. And I sit down. No one questioned me. I thought I was going to get heat. I didn't know what was going to happen. And then I sat basically by myself because I was with a couple and they were sitting over, but they didn't want to sit too close because they didn't want to get in trouble because of the wings. So they sat a few seats over. So I'm by myself. And it's like 10 minutes into the movie, and I'm like, I think it's been long enough. I think I can open these wings. And seriously, 1 second after I open the bag, the entire theater just stinks like garlic. That's an interesting and difficult smell to explain. So yeah, I just ate all the wings, just sat there. It was a long movie, and I'll admit I ate 50 wings when I was sitting there watching that. And
do you know what this reminds me of?
Felt like a king. It was a perfect movie to do it in because, obviously.
This reminds me of, so this young man wakes up and, he wants to, just go on the pursuit of this quest. He hears that a wise man on the top of this mountain wrote one note to the secret of life of being happy. So he goes on this epic journey and he gets to the top and he opens up the note to figure out what true happiness is in this life. And the note says, eat 50 wings in a movie theater. I feel like that's the secret to living a happy life. Like you've done it. If you've gone and you've done that, that is so cool. Because we're not talking about like candy doesn't really give off a smell. Like M&M's, right? I'll quote Chris Farley in Tommy Boy. Richard, they have a thick candy shell, like it melts in your mouth. Like wings are wings. Like, was it a dry rub or was it like a sauce?
No, they were wet. It was, I'm gonna be honest with you, it was horrifying what I was doing. I had 2 bags. And so I was eating the wings out and then I was eating them
out of the jar, just like bare-handing these.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's not even like a joke. And it was just like the most horrific thing. And I'm glad no one really saw it. I'm confessing now, of course, but.
Well, then I have work stories that will live with me as long as I'm alive. And Chris has work stories from the gas station. You created a work story for somebody else. I'm sure they're still talking.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like they walked into the theater and they're like, really, somebody ate wings in here.
You should have just left the bag of bones sitting like in the cup holder or something.
God. No, God,
He's not a brute, Kara.
If it's all in the bag contained, all it is picking that up and chucking it in the garbage.
It's just a radius of bones around it.
Oh my God.
Just go through and put a bone in every single cup holder.
Be like an ATB out for me at all the theaters.
Yes, would be.
Have you seen this man?
No, and so if he cleans up,
smells of garlic.
If he cleans up the bones and doesn't put that onto the the employee, I would imagine like maybe the employees don't care and they think it's awesome, but that's like when the boss comes in and he's like, really guys, we've reached a new low. You allowed someone to sneak in wings tonight. Do you not care?
What's next, a whole lobster dinner?
Yeah. Yep.
So a friend of mine once brought a bucket of chow mein, lo mein. I thought that was pretty classy.
That is pretty classy.
But that's the same. It's similar to the like you're saying, the candy. There's not like smell coming from lo mein, and there's not much like garbage left over. So I didn't have a problem with that.
Well, I mean, nowadays you can buy pizzas at the theater.
Yeah,
exactly. That's right. And they've gone crazy with their food there now.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like my dad, though, he played a direct, like you can follow the thread directly from that can of soda that we brought to Jurassic Park directly to me bringing those wings into Marie Antoinette. Like it's directly his fault.
20 years later.
Yeah, because like that initial taste of like, it's okay, you won't get in trouble. And then, I didn't get in trouble still, so. Never gets caught.
Chris has some comments to read here.
Yeah, so Cam says his most scandalous movie theater thing was a 2-liter of Diet Coke in the inner pocket of his jacket.
That's
how do you get a 2-liter in
winter in Minnesota?
I
big
suppose,
poofy jacket.
okay.
Yeah, poofy jacket.
I suppose.
I think what we need to do now is put a wager on the line and see what the most outrageous thing one of us can sneak into a theater
but it's easy mode right now. It's easy mode because there's less people. Because of the panorama, as Mike was saying.
Okay, so I saw this girl on YouTube, I think it was. She took a foam, like half circle dome thing.
Oh, cheese balls?
She put, no. It's just like a thing of foam. And she filled it with food. Styrofoam? Yep. Like the stuff you put plants, like you can poke plants in and stuff. So she made it hollowed it out.
Lobby stuff.
Yeah, she hollowed it out, put food in there, put it under her shirt so she looked pregnant. And she brought, I think I would toast all of you by doing that because no one's gonna be like, are you actually pregnant? I'd be like, what? Are you asking that question right now?
Yeah, exactly.
I will vomit on your shoes right now. Like,
like if they want to look underneath your dress, you're pretty clear under there. You know what I mean? That's
right. It's
that's
like
a no-no zone.
Exactly.
It's not an airplane, sir. This is not an airline. It's not. You're looking for bombs. Leave me alone.
Yep. I will roast both of you.
Well, I just want to see, like, depending on what food you decide to take in, what are you gonna do when you walk back out and you're no longer pregnant? You
just put the thing back in under your shirt.
Yeah, but you've got to just flex at that point and just throw the.
I had the baby in the theater.
I'm just imagining just taping 500 yards of linked sausages together all around your body, and just wearing some loose clothes, and then you're just
Oh, you know what would really mess with people? Let's say we do this after we have baby number 2. We walk in completely separate as if we don't know each other. I go in with the bowl belly and come out holding the baby.
Oh, that would be funny.
You're trying to traumatize these poor theater workers. Think of if somebody sees you walking out with a kid without walking in with one, they're like, what god awful mess am I gonna have to clean up?
That's what I'm saying. And they're gonna be like, yep.
And why didn't she leave? Why wouldn't she leave the movie?
It was so good I couldn't leave.
Well, yeah.
Testament to Avatar, I guess. Yeah. Oh,
right.
This is funny. I like this. We should do this.
Anyways, Myke, I absolutely, when Chris showed me your TikTok to just full swing before we wrap up here, your Step Promoter project is absolutely fantastic, and I can't wait to see.
Thank you.
What videos you keep pushing to TikTok, and we're gonna watch you on there now. So
I got 100,000 views as of tonight. It's insane.
Dang.
I don't even know what to say to that.
Now, when you get those views like that, it's why can't everybody who viewed it subscribe? You know?
Yeah,
that's how we feel. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. No, and I don't understand how it's going to go, and maybe that's the only list I'll ever get, but it's not really about that for me. It's just about having a good time. So
yeah.
I'm happy I'm getting some success, and I'm glad you guys are into it. Thank you. Thanks for and just if anyone watching your show has any requests, fire them over.
Yeah.
If you type them in the comments right now, and Chris sees them, or even after, comment on one of our videos, we will forward it to Myke.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think of the coolest.
And then thanks so much. I really appreciate you guys having me on here.
What about the Zelda song?
So with Ocarina of Time, is that still, or is that now that is actual music?
No, that's fine. I can get anything. No, I did the video that's got the most views right now is a Tool video, Schism. And I did a Rage Against the Machines track too, and I did an Aha cover too.
I mean, but the Cantina Band one is super, super good. That one's so.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. That was the first one that had 8 motors. So I did a reveal. We had the first 4 motors only, and then I slid the other ones in.
That was that's classy. That looked good. It just looked good. It sounded good. It broke up the shot. It's super cool. Yeah, to take a quick second, anybody who's watching, just type in your song. Like I said, my request was the original opening Nintendo Pokemon Red or Pokemon Blue, whatever you played as a kid. The da 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 da. I love that.
Ooh, what about one of the Lord of the Rings song da 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 da?
Kara's making
absolutely, and that also the way you said it there reminds me of that episode of SpongeBob where Mr. Krabs calls on the radio. He says, "Play that song again." Say which one? He says, "Goes like this: boop beep boop boop bop boop beep boop boop bop boop."
Oh, somebody commented. We might have a request.
Oh, okay.
Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Oh, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Oh, heck yeah. That's on my list, yeah. It's one of my favorites. And I play that on the accordion, too, so I love that song.
Yes.
That's so cool. Who was the person who wrote that, Chris?
That was Swanky.
Oh, yay, Swanky.
He's carrying the load. Him and Cam and a little bit Brad.
Yep.
Wyatt said something about way back at the very beginning that I didn't say.
Wait, Jeremy's Wyatt?
Yeah, yeah, my Wyatt. He's fishing right now in Lake Erie or something.
Oh.
So. The spookiest lake we have.
Oh, Lord.
All right, Myke. Well, Chris is going to take us out, and you can just hang on until the end and say goodbye to everybody if you want. And
all right, well, let me press the... No, we can't run the outro. That's right. It's going to fall apart. Such as do this freehand. All right, so if you made it this far in the video, congratulations, you've made it to the end of the video. If you want to see more content like this, go ahead and throw a like on it. It shows that you support what we're doing here and are interested in seeing more stuff like it. Comment down below with what you want to hear on Step Promoters, or what your favorite show is from the last 10 years, or what the craziest thing you snuck into a movie theater is. Any of those things down in the comments below will be acceptable. Subscribe if you're not already. Ring the notification bell to be notified every time we upload a video or go live. Participating with us live is pretty fun. I highly suggest it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and of course,
may the force be with you.